Welcome you all to Discover channel. If you new to our channel, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Without any further delay, let's get started. I hope you all heard about Amelia Earhart. What really happens? Why she slip out from this world? Whether she is alive? Let's know about him, but for remembrance kindly thumbs up our subscription button and share to our friends. I hope your support, it makes me to give more content. Amelia Earhart was born on July 24, 1897, in Atchison, Kansas, United States. She was an aviation pioneer and one of the most famous women in history for her numerous achievements in the field of aviation. Some of her notable achievements include: first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. In 1932, Earhart became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean, flying from Newfoundland, Canada, to Ireland. First woman to fly non-stop across the United States. In 1932, Earhart also became the first woman to fly non-stop across the United States, from Los Angeles to Newark. Numerous aviation records. Throughout her career, Earhart set many other aviation records, including altitude records, speed records, and distance records. Advocacy for women's rights. Earhart was also a vocal advocate for women's rights and encouraged other women to pursue careers in aviation. Earhart's legacy as a pioneering aviator and advocate for women's rights continues to inspire people around the world to this day. Her life and achievements have been the subject of numerous books, movies, and documentaries, and she remains an enduring symbol of courage, determination, and adventure. Amelia Earhart was an American aviation pioneer and author who disappeared on July 2, 1937, during her attempt to fly around the world. She and her navigator, Fred Noonan, were flying a Lockheed Model 10 Electra when they disappeared somewhere over the central Pacific Ocean. Despite extensive search efforts, no trace of the plane or its occupants has ever been found, leading to one of the most enduring mysteries of modern aviation history. There have been numerous theories and speculations about what might have happened to Earhart and Noonan. Some people believe they crashed into the ocean and perished, while others think they landed on a deserted island and tried to survive as castaways. Some have even suggested that they were captured by the Japanese or other hostile forces. Over the years, many expeditions have been mounted to search for evidence of Earhart's plane or to investigate possible landing sites. Some of these expeditions have turned up tantalizing clues, such as fragments of metal and aircraft parts that may have belonged to Earhart's plane. However, none of these discoveries have provided conclusive proof of what happened to her. Despite the lack of definitive answers, Amelia Earhart remains an inspirational figure for many people, particularly women in aviation. Her courage, determination, and pioneering spirit continue to inspire generations of pilots and adventurers. Earhart set numerous other aviation records during her career, including the first person to fly solo from Honolulu, Hawaii, to Oakland, California, and the first woman to fly non-stop across the United States. She was also a vocal advocate for women's rights and encouraged other women to pursue careers in aviation. Earhart's disappearance during her attempt to fly around the world in 1937 made her a legend and an enduring symbol of adventure and courage. Her achievements and pioneering spirit continue to inspire women and men around the world to this day. There have been numerous rumors and theories about what may have happened to Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan during their ill-fated flight in 1937. Some of the most persistent rumors and speculations include: Earhart and Noonan crashed into the ocean. This is the most widely accepted theory and is supported by some evidence, including radio transmissions and distress calls that were heard in the days after the flight disappeared. However, despite extensive search efforts, no trace of the plane or its occupants has ever been found. Earhart and Noonan were captured by the Japanese. Some people have suggested that the Japanese military captured Earhart and Noonan, who were then executed as spies. This theory is largely unsupported by evidence, and both the US and Japanese governments have denied any involvement. Earhart survived and assumed a new identity. Some people believe that Earhart survived the flight and assumed a new identity to avoid publicity or to continue flying in secret. However, there is no evidence to support this theory, and it is generally considered unlikely. Earhart was on a secret mission for the U.S. government. some have suggested that Earhart's flight was actually a cover for a secret intelligence mission on behalf of the U.S. government. This theory is unsupported by any credible evidence and is generally considered a conspiracy theory. Despite the many rumors and theories, the truth about what happened to Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan remains a mystery. It is widely believed that Amelia Earhart died during her attempt to fly around the world in 1937. Despite extensive search efforts, no trace of her plane or her remains have ever been found, leading to the conclusion that she likely crashed into the ocean and perished along with her navigator, Fred Noonan. There have been occasional rumors and conspiracy theories that Earhart survived the flight and went into hiding, but there is no credible evidence to support these claims. In 1940, Earhart was declared legally dead by a court in California, and her legacy as a pioneering aviator and advocate for women's rights has continued to inspire generations of people around the world. It is widely believed that Amelia Earhart died during her attempt to fly around the world in 1937. She and her navigator, Fred Noonan, were flying a Lockheed Model 10 Electra when they disappeared somewhere over the central Pacific Ocean. Despite extensive search efforts, no trace of the plane or its occupants has ever been found. Based on the available evidence, it is most likely that Earhart's plane ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean, killing both her and Noonan. In the days after the disappearance, distress calls and radio transmissions were heard from Earhart's plane, indicating that they were running low on fuel and struggling to find their position. However, despite extensive search efforts by the U.S. Navy and other organizations, no trace of the plane or its occupants was ever found, leading to one of the most enduring mysteries of modern aviation history. Amelia Earhart's disappearance was widely covered by newspapers around the world. In the United States, major newspapers such as the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the Los Angeles Times reported extensively on the search for Earhart and her navigator, Fred Noonan. In the days and weeks following her disappearance, newspapers ran front-page stories with headlines such as, "Amelia Earhart lost on world flight," and, "Air search fails to find Earhart." Many newspapers also published photos of Earhart and her plane, as well as maps of the planned flight route and search areas. The coverage of Earhart's disappearance was unprecedented at the time, and her status as a pioneering aviator and public figure contributed to the intense media interest. Despite the lack of conclusive evidence about what happened to her, her story continues to capture the imagination of people around the world. To the best of my knowledge, the U.S. government has not located Amelia Earhart's body or remains. Despite numerous search efforts over the years, no conclusive evidence has been found to definitively establish the fate of Earhart and her navigator, Fred Noonan. In recent years, there have been some new search efforts, using advanced technology and forensic analysis, to try to locate the wreckage of Earhart's plane and potentially uncover new clues about what happened to her. However, these efforts have not yet produced any definitive findings. The mystery of Amelia Earhart's disappearance remains one of the most enduring and fascinating unsolved mysteries in aviation history, and it continues to inspire speculation, theories, and new research efforts to this day. If you want more videos, subscribe to our channel for the regular updates.